What's good, everyone? This is another episode, live episode of Opposite from the Norm. We got a
Right,
good
right.
show. We about to bring to y'all. So fasten your seatbelts, man. This gonna be a bumpy one. All right. So my partner wanted to talk about a certain situation that we saw happening, and just wondering should this be a law. And I used to talk about it. I used to think it was actual law, but I guess it's not. So HD, go ahead and talk about it, man. What you think it should be a law for?
Yeah, so I wanted to speak about this topic because I've been seeing this a lot in the news. A lot of different actions have been happening. A lot of them have been sad because they've been leading to certain people dying, people getting seriously hurt, ended up in the hospital. So the topic at hand is, should there be a law or some type of requirement for um people who, and I want to use the correct words because I don't want people to say I'm using the incorrect words. I'm just speaking. No hate for nobody. But if transgenders or people who are making the transition to opposite sex or what have you, if they should be required to advise someone up front. The reason why I say that is, as I was stating before, there have been a lot of incidences going on lately. Particularly one that I saw with the former college player who got accused of killing a man he met on Tinder. Um, this supposedly happened back on May 31st in Blacksburg, Virginia. And the young man was a college student on the football team. Long story short, he had met someone who he perceived was a woman on Tinder. That was his assumption, that he was talking to and wanting to hook up with a female. Um, One thing led to another. End up talking. This incident that happened on the 31st is said to have been the second meetup. The person that he was supposed to be hooking up with was supposed to be a woman named Angie. It stated that the young man, whose name is David, I don't want to mess up his last name, Etute, 18 years old, of Virginia Beach. And he was arrested, by the way, on June the 2nd and charged with second degree murder. Met back up at Angie, who was supposed to be Angie, but it actually turned out to be a man. Name is Jerry Paul Smith, and met up because they were supposed to be hooking up for a oral sex meetup. The young man flew into a rage when he found out it was a man and proceeded to, as they say, pummel him and beat him up really bad. It said that the gentleman died of blunt force trauma to the head. The autopsy revealed that every bone in his face was broken, and he had skull fractures, and his teeth had been knocked out. So he got beat pretty bad. And this was all because of the young man flew into a rage when he found out that this, in fact, was a man. Now, uh, the gentleman's family referred to him and said he was just a gay man. I don't know if they knew about the dressing up, or I don't know if he was transitioning or whatever to a woman, but in reading this story, this is one of many stories that I've come across, read, and it's really sad. Of course, we don't want to see anyone dying. We don't want to see anyone getting hurt. And that's why I just wanted to uh, have this as a topic to go over and discuss. I've heard some other podcasts getting into this issue, but they was doing a lot of tippy toeing. We don't do that punk shit over here. So I really want to dive into it and speak about our opinions and our feelings on the topic. So, Jay, you go ahead and give your opinion on if this should be a law, and if so, what kind of rules and guidelines that it should be. Because before giving my long opinion, I'm just gonna say up front, I do believe, before we even get into speaking about laws, just as a human being, just I believe that all people should advise, yes, this is who I want to become, but this is who I am. And now that's going to be very tricky because a lot of people will get offended by that because they want to go into, well, I know what I am on the inside, and I know what I was born as, and I knew I was this since I was 3 years old. But the fact of the matter is, not to be too out there, but if you are walking around and was born with a penis, you're a man. And if you were born and walk around with a vagina, you're a woman. Now, whatever you do after that to get surgery to get it changed over, that's great. That's fine for you. Enjoy your life. However, I believe if you're meeting someone, especially when it comes to lying, if you know you a man and got a dick between your legs and you talking to someone online, telling them you're Angie or Angela or Sharon, that's not cool. That's not right. Jay, you go ahead.
Yeah, well, I've heard about these situations in real life. So just to be real with you, it don't matter if you feel that you were born in the wrong body and all of that shit. It don't matter. You have to be respectful, just like you want people to be respectful of you. Not everybody chooses to live their life that way. So if you have people that are more understanding nowadays, not disrespectful to that community, then just appreciate that, because we all know they have, the bars and clubs that, that community, has of their own. So what I don't get is why so many people from that community will try to still go after people that may not necessarily be into, that lifestyle. And respectfully, if you don't want your rights taken away, why you gonna take somebody else's rights away? You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about how that makes somebody feel. So you have this unfortunate situation where, this young man, and me and my partner was having a conversation about this in pre-production. I was telling him, the sad thing is when you have somebody that younger and then the person that did it was a little older, they was pretty much taking advantage of this person. You get what I'm saying? So it's not right. So I believe that should be a law. Like, yo, if you gonna talk to someone, you have to let them know up front, soon as y'all start talking, what it really is, so you can give them that right to make that decision whether they want to or not. Don't try to take that right from them just because that's how you feel, but you got to understand something. It don't What you feel and what's real for as reality is two different things. So if you feel that way, but you don't have the female parts, so y'all can't have normal sex, you know what I'm saying? So you can't just tell somebody you like to take it up the ass, pause. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that and then think they're just supposed to be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? You're putting your life on the line. You're putting somebody else's mental stability on the line. So I think they should put that as a law. Like, yo, if you don't tell somebody, they can sue you for that, and you can get some jail time for that shit. It's not right. It's a thing that goes towards the mental. And then you gotta think it's almost like when they say like putting a drug in somebody's drink and making them uncoherent to what's going on so you can take advantage of them. That's pretty much what's going on. You're taking advantage of somebody. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of how you feel or what you think, you know what reality is. So it needs to be a guideline on that yo, you need to tell the truth. And you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna deal with somebody, if not, just go to a place where you pretty much know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my opinion on it. Straight up and down.
And also just to add to that, when I was speaking from the beginning, just the human element of it. Nobody wants to be lied to. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. So why would someone who is making a transition do that to somebody? Like I said, if you meeting somebody online and they're telling you, I'm a straight person, I'm looking for a woman, or if it's a female, I'm looking for a man. just as a human being and having decency, because we get a lot of outrage and words from, the LGBT community about, being treated fairly, about being treated like a human being, about being treated on the same level as everybody else. So why won't you give that same courtesy to someone that you meet online or at a bar? If you want to be treated like a regular, decent human being, why don't you do that to someone else instead of lying to them? The same way that you want it to be, you want to be treated fairly and to be looked upon as no different from anyone else, then treat other people that way. Don't get someone wrapped up in your web off of lies, because you don't want to be lied to yourself. And I agree. I agree with my partner. If you're doing something and you're just straight up lying to someone, especially multiple times, like that, the story that I was going over, it said, that happened on the second meetup. Why? And forgive me, I'm just going off the story. But if there was a first meetup, why wasn't the truth revealed right then and there? Why not? On the flip side of that, I heard a story online where this man was confessing that he went to, this bar, was hanging out with his buddies, whatever, whatever, and some uh whatever you want to call them, excuse me, transgenders, transsexuals came in. They was with the lookalike shit. One person was supposed to be looking like Demi Moore, one person was supposed to be looking like Britney Spears, whatever. And they was talking, it was told up front, like, yo, this is, I look like a woman, but I was born this. However, I've had the surgery. That's a 30-minute bam right there. And then that person can make their decision to go for it or not. That took less than a minute for the person to be like, yo, bam, we talking, we kicking it, but let me tell you the real. All it takes is less than 60 seconds, and this incident that I spoke of could have been prevented. And some of the other things that that you read or hear about where people get hurt or killed could be prevented with a 60-second conversation. At least giving the person the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna go over here, or give them the opportunity to say, you know what, all right, boom, let's keep talking. At least give the person the opportunity or the chance to make the decision, not you lying and lying and lying, and then when the person finds out, you want to, because I've seen other instances too where reading stories or watching videos where a person say, there's one particular incident where this person was outraged and they were alone in an apartment, and the person getting on their knees begging, please, please, please don't be mad at me. And it's like, it's a little bit too late for that. You and this person had been talking online for over 2 months. 2 whole months you had to have a 60-second conversation. And in this instance, this person hadn't even had their surgery yet. So it was still a male with a dick between the legs. But for 2.5 months, they lied and lied and lied and lied and said that they were a girl. That's just not right. So whatever happened in that apartment, I'm sorry to say, you deserve that. This particular person didn't die, thank God. But whatever happened with the outrage or the fighting, you deserve that because you lied to someone for 2.5 months, continuously lying to that. They was FaceTiming, all that jazz. So you lied for 2.5 months. And I just feel like if you can lie for 2.5 months, like my partner said, you need to have your ass in jail for 2.5 months because you lied for that long. And you should pay a fucking fine on that. Jay.
True, 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 true. All right. So on that, we about to change, but real quick, I will say another sad thing about that is you have a lot of people from that community that are very childish and they have to school each other. Like, listen,
Very.
you gotta be careful how you move because I've heard conversation with women where they say they've been out with their gay friends and the guys be outing these people like, oh, they do such and such and that's such and such. You know what I'm saying? I done seen it on Facebook, heard the stories and all types of stuff. So that's why it's like, yo, live your honesty. Be honest about who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's how you live. That's how you live, and let people accept you for who you really are. If they can't, then you don't need to deal with them anyways. That's what people got to think about. If you have to lie to kick it, then it ain't worth doing it at all. Real talk.
And what about
So
the pride thing? What about the pride thing? I'm sorry.
that ain't no
When they
pride then. That's what I'm saying.
right,
You
they're
hiding
always
it.
it's always that you're proud, or the old saying, "Gay is happy." I'm happy. Well, if you're proud of who you are and you're happy, why lie about it? If
Right.
you're lying, it's obviously it's something that you're not proud and something that you're not happy about. So until you can become happy and proud of who you are, leave other people alone.
Real talk. That's real talk. All right, so I'm gonna let you switch on over to your boy, Scottie Pippen. That's your dog,
Okay,
ain't it?
okay,
That's your homie,
okay,
ain't it?
okay, okay.
That's your homie.
So I'm going to take my time with this so that if there's any slow motherfuckers, so they can understand what I'm saying. Because this has been going on for a few days here, and I want to hit it from a whole nother angle. Because some of these people that I've been listening to, famous people who have shows and things like that, they've been trying to come at Scottie Pippen and say that, oh, he's an idiot. And I mean, the way that he did portray it is kind of stupid, but I'm gonna take it from another angle. If you don't know what's going on, basically Scottie Pippen has been doing some interviews lately because he has a book he's coming out with, and he has a bourbon that he's coming out with, and some kind of popcorn or chips. I think it's popcorn. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but he's been going doing his rounds on different shows, and uh, he was on the Dan Patrick show recently, and he made some comments, talking about the Last Dance, which was a documentary they did on the Bulls and Jordan. A lot of people felt that Jordan kind of said some little backhanded comments about Scotty and made fun of the contract that he signed, and told some secrets about one of Scottie Pippen's injuries, things of that nature, and their relationship has seemed kind of cold, kind of sort of over the last couple of years with some of the things that they've said. And then Scotty also got into speaking about Phil Jackson. And he said some things he referred to mainly when back the season where Jordan went to play baseball, second round of the playoffs, when Scottie Pippen refused to go in the game because Phil Jackson caught the last shot for Tony Kukoc. Scottie Pippen went on to say that he felt that that was a racial move. And of course, Dan Patrick, in the way that his style of interviewing, he kind of kept poking with the stick. And, he's like, so basically, you're trying to call Phil Jackson a racist. Scottie Pippen basically said, yeah, I ain't got no problem with saying that. And that's when the whole shitstorm started. All these different players and all these analysts just came out of nowhere, jumping on Scottie Pippen's back. And the angle that I want to go about it is, with black people, we already know that if you're going to call one of these white people a racist, especially a white person that's held in high regard like Phil Jackson, you got to come better than, oh, he took me out for the shot. He wanted to have Kukoc in there so the white people could get up. You got to come better than that, because you know that they always waiting for the black person to cry wolf about racism and white people holding us back. We already know that these white people are racist. We already know that they try to hold us back. But you can't jump out there with some weak shit. And then after doing some more research and digging, I also found out, after Scottie Pippen is making all these claims, that he's making himself look bad, because they're now saying, well, why you wait 2 years to say this stuff? And then come to us with more facts. The things that Scottie Pippen was saying really wasn't enough to stick to make it, come out that way. Him saying, oh, he just took me out. And then he was saying that, why would, because it was asked, well, Steve Kerr, took a shot, over Jordan in one of the finals. And he was like, oh, well, Jordan just did that a camera, and it's like, well, Scotty, if you're gonna say that somebody like him is racist now, because basically it seems like you mad and salty because of the documentary that came out. Why would you say that now after all these years down the line? Also, I found out that in 2005, Scottie Pippen joined the Lakers under Phil Jackson as an assistant. So if somebody's that racist in your opinion, why the hell would you run behind them like a little puppy and be their assistant on the Lakers team? You got no affiliation to the Lakers at all. Never played for them. So why would you run and be an assistant under this racist white dude if it was really like that? And then you went on TV in 2019 and said that Phil Jackson should be the Lakers coach. You said that on TV. So if he's racist, why are you pumping and boosting him up about how great of a coach he is and saying that the Lakers should hire him? That's just dumb. You're making us as black people look stupid going on TV because you know that these people are going to dig this stuff up and make fun of you. And then in the future, you're going to have tap dancers like Charles Barkley and Stephen A. Smith coming out and saying that these type of things don't need to be said, and they're going to be defending these white people. So why do we as black people come out and embarrass ourselves like that? Not to mention you saying all you trying to go in this angle about black people when Scotty, look at who you've been married to and made a fool by. It's not a black woman. And it's been known that you love white women. So why are you trying to do all this black brother shit and you love white people? I don't understand. Jay, give your opinion.
Uh, I know we ain't gonna spend too much time on this idiot, but you know how I go. You got dudes like that who know they do some suspect shit, and then they want to run back to the black community when something goes wrong, and then want to
Aha.
holler all this
Uh-huh.
racism. So you already know how it go, man. He just doing that because what else move do he really got? When you go out there like that and you surrounded by a bunch of white people and they seem like they love you, and then when y'all have a falling out, now you want to turn back to your original community.
Right.
But it's like, then stay that way in the first place. Let it be known where you stand at. But like you said, if he's always dated white women, married white women, and all that stuff, don't holler racism now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Now,
stay
now,
on your square or whatever it is, and just ride it on out till the wheels fall off.
now, let me throw this in for you so you can comment on this. Now, I did some more research as well, but and this is where I say people like Scottie Pippen are just stupid. Now, if you want to say Phil Jackson is racist, okay. So I found this interview by Robert Horry, because Robert Horry played for Phil Jackson under the Lakers, where he said, when they was in the huddle one game, Phil Jackson said to all the black players, listen to the sound of your master's voice. Your master's voice coming from a white man to a group of black players. And Robert Horry said that in the huddle, all the black players said, whoa, 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 what you mean, master? And Robert Horry said, I'm from the South. You don't talk to us like that. So that's one
Mm,
incident right there that could have been brought up. And then number two, remember when Phil Jackson got into some controversy when he said about LeBron James and his crew as his posse? That's a racist ass remark too, referring to LeBron James' crew, which in the first place, all LeBron James' crew is successful. Like Maverick Carter and the other cats who are sports agents and run multi-million-dollar businesses. That's not a fucking posse. That's a group of well-educated, smart black men that's doing their thing. But he called them a posse. That's racist number two. And then also digging up some more stuff from some quotes that Phil Jackson also said about in another book that he had called Maverick, where he's talking about the way that black players play versus how white players play. How he's saying white players work together and black players just do one-on-one stuff. They're not organized. Isn't that racist? And then when he was speaking of the New York Knicks, saying that the starting front court played white basketball while the guards played black basketball, insinuating that the guards playing the black basketball fucked up the team.
Mm.
And then also when he was referring to the black players in the in the 90s, I guess you could call the era of the baggy jeans and all that kind of stuff, how he was saying that the black players dressed in quote unquote prison garb and was making a bad name for the NBA. That's very racist too. So they let this motherfucker
Mm-hmm.
slide with a lot of shit that he said over the years because he's a coach, and not all this shit is super old. You know what I'm saying? And here it says October of 1999. He's saying that, it's probably due to too much rap music in their ears as to why they
Mm-hmm.
act the way they act. And then in 2005 was when he made that remark about the dress code, saying that they need to get out of this prison garb and thuggery aspect of basketball that has come along with hip hop music. So if Scottie Pippen wanted to go somewhere with it, he had all these little examples that I found within 10 minutes that he could have went to outside of some shit about him being taken out of the game for the last second shot. They ain't have nothing to do with race. It had to do with also the fact that yo ass had missed the last three fucking shots in that game, and he went to Tony Kukoc because Tony Kukoc had hit a couple game winning shots during that season already. So he knew your ass couldn't hit the shot. That's why he took your ass out of the game. But you want to go to the racist shit because your ass couldn't hit the shot. And you making us as black people look bad because they're now starting to say, oh, the black people want to throw around the race card. Yeah, we can throw around the race card at Phil Jackson because he is a racist motherfucker, just based upon the things that I just said and found out. But you talking about some shot, man, get your ass out of here and go continue chasing your white women.
You know what I'm saying? When something don't go their way, that's just like I remember when Nicki Minaj was crying about, oh, they some snubbed her because of her big butt on her album cover. And it's like your ass ain't even real. With all the real racism going
It's
on,
not
you
real.
only worry about it when it happens to you. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's a good point. So you brought up some good stuff, a lot of stuff I didn't know nothing about. But that's what they were saying back then, and that's why you got so many athletes that's brainwashed right now. And then we do it to each other too. Like, don't hire a black quarterback because he gonna be at the club instead of being home studying his play. So we do it to each other
Right.
too. But I mean, what else can you say? Like we allow ourselves to be at such a lower level that I mean, you can't expect but for something like this to happen, and then people just they're gonna go with it. It's implicit biasness, prejudice, stereotyping, all that shit. But at the same time, I mean, hey, what can he really cry about? He crying wolf, but it's like, bitch, you make millions of dollars. Don't nobody care because you couldn't get the last shot. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out when his raggedy ass book come when his raggedy ass book come out and how people gonna feel about that bullshit he got to say.
He's just jealous. He's jealous because he's always been called Robin to Jordan's Batman, which he
Mm.
is. And I don't know what the fuck is so bad about being the second best player on a team that won six championships. I mean, I just stop it with the shit. You'll never be on Jordan's level. You never was. And the last thing I'm gonna say about that, because I'm not over here trying to hang off Jordan's balls or anything, but whenever that man talks, he always gives this dumbass Scottie Pippen the ultimate compliment. He always says, "I would have never had six titles without Scottie." So why the fuck is you so jealous when the man gives you your fucking props? Shut the fuck up. Go do your little bourbon. Go finish chasing your white women
Mm-hmm.
who keep going and fucking rappers and making your children look bad. And worry about that. Stop
Mm.
coming out here trying to pull this racist fucking card when you went and fucking worked under the fucking man and all that shit. Miss me with that shit, man. Out of here.
All right. All right. So we finna go ahead and move on to that real shit that
Uh
y'all been
oh.
waiting for.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
That real shit y'all been waiting
Uh
for.
oh. I don't. This
Motherfucker.
might be too real for me.
Bill Cosby. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video clip for y'all before we get into it. All right. Get ready, H. Hold on. Can you hear H? I want to make sure you can hear the video.
Hell no.
You couldn't hear the video?
No sir.
Oh, come on. See, this is that bullshit, man. Hold on, y'all. I apologize. Let me see something.
Technical
You
difficulties.
know, yeah. That my bad. That my bad, y'all. My apologies. Okay, I got that. I got that right. I'm new to the game, y'all. So yeah, y'all gonna have to excuse me.
New player on the field.
Definitely. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. Um, Normally it would. So I'm glad I had stopped it since you couldn't really hear it. Hold on.
Good.
Screen. I'm screen sharing it.
While he's doing that,
Surprise.
I'm over here trying to find me some Jello pudding to go with this topic of Bill Cosby. Gonna eat me some pudding in Mr. Cosby's honor.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, man. I still eat pudding. I don't care. I'm a grown man. I still eat it.
Yeah.
My son eat it too.
Well, it says that it's on there. I'm sharing this. I don't know what's up with the sound. That's crazy. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me see something.
Get a brother a chance, y'all. Get a brother a chance.
What is
Like
this?
like Day said, I fuck up sometimes. Let my man fuck up sometimes.
Mm, yeah, but so I'm gonna just go ahead and narrate for a second until I try to get started right. So yeah, everybody know Bill Cosby been released from prison. I was shocked. I thought it was bullshit when I seen it myself, but apparently it's real. So hold on, y'all bear with me 1 second. Let me see
He's
if I can
out.
do it.
He
Oh,
got
he did get to
Camille.
it. Let's do it. Hold on. Let me see.
Where's Rudy Huxtable at? She ain't clapping. Or Theo with his big
Theo.
ass cheeks.
All right. Let me know if you can hear this, G.
Hell no.
Y'all excuse me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now. I'm trying. It says it's sharing. I don't understand why the audio ain't playing for y'all.
Niggas is
My
tripping.
apologies. All right. So I'ma just fuck it. I'ma just go ahead and narrate it. All right. So he got out the other day, and we're seeing a lot about people being upset that he got out because they're saying that he's not like Mark Lamont Hill punk ass talking about he's not innocent. You know, he's still guilty, but it's like guilty of what? You had something that happened years ago with no real damn proof. So you mean to tell me that we're just supposed to believe that these folks know what they're talking about, and then that's just the truth, that he's just guilty because they say that? And like they said, if you can do that to somebody with money, what imagine what you can do to somebody who has no money. You know what I'm saying? So I understand all the allegations and all the claims that people have been making for years, and they saying in the comedian world. But it's like, so you go to the stage and say something about it. Why you ain't report it? Or why the hell everybody ain't band together and beat the hell out of Bill, kick his ass out of the community? You know what I'm saying? Like, why ain't nobody put no pills in his drink? Let me stop. I ain't gonna.
Oh,
I apologize. My apologies. But why are we sitting around allowing this to happen if this guy is you know what I'm saying? Like if he's really the piece of shit that everybody's saying, then explain to me, you know what I'm saying? Like then why we didn't come together, band together to, you know what I'm saying, get him up out of here. But it's sad because it's like people are okay, you know what I'm saying, with doing nothing and allowing a lot of bullshit to happen. You know what I'm saying? So like H, what you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's saying, oh, he's guilty and all that, you know, like a buster like Mark Lamont Hill, but what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like we got stuff like this still going on around the world. Like, are you really fighting that? Like, what are you really doing? You happy to sit back and say that, even though we feel, you know, he faking and fronting, like, you know, Mark Lamont Hill trying to get all these people on his side, but I don't believe it. So how you feel about, you know, the allegations and then Bill being let go? Like, what do you think about it?
I feel that the number one point is what you said about the evidence. In a lot of cases, you know, the person who is accused of something, if there's no real hard fact evidence, they don't even, spend a month locked up. This cat done spent, more than a month locked up. He was locked up, they didn't let him out, and he's out now. And a lot of people, especially bitch ass Mark Lamont, they just doing this stuff to get people on their side for their own agenda. That's all it is. With people like Miss Felicia Rashad, who came out and gave her opinion, that she was happy, and then there's some people coming at her. It's like, so what? People aren't allowed to have their own opinion. In her
Mm.
opinion, she's happy that he's out. She felt bad for him. That's her opinion. She can feel the way she want to feel. If you feel that she's wrong, that's fine, but you don't gotta go calling her names, saying things about her that's out of character. That's her personal friend. Now everybody's gonna react different. Yes, you may say, well, if I had a personal friend who was doing this and that, I wouldn't defend them, but that's how you get down. So if other people are happy that he's out and they feel like, they want to support him, that's let them do that. Let them be. And just back to the evidence thing, like I don't understand why someone would be so super outraged when, it's been a long time. It's not like this trial just happened 2 months ago. It's been a long time, and it's been a lot of fighting back and forth, and the evidence. You can have your opinion. Do I personally feel like Homeboy was putting shit in people's drinks? Yes, I do. Because I ain't saying that to be disrespectful to him. I'm saying that because back during those times, that was the thing. People who weren't born or who aren't privy to what went down back in those times, then y'all can't really give y'all fucking opinion. That's what happened back in those times. And at one point, certain pills being put in certain drinks, that was seen as cool. That was hip. You do that when you go out to have fun or more fun. People were actually seeking that, seeking those type of pills. They were actually seeking that type of fun. So, do I feel like he did that at a time? Yes. But you also have to look at it from the other side that I'm not going to speak for none of the women that came forward and said they was raped. I ain't saying that. I don't know them, whatever. But I'm pretty sure back when he was partying, there were a lot of women who was asking for those drugs. Maybe not all of them asked him personally, but asked like, "Hey, you can get this, or you can get that, or do you have some? Can you share with me? Or I'd like to." Or there may have just been people who just wanted to do those. Excuse me, women who wanted to do those drugs with him because he was famous and he was a star, and they want to party with Bill. So that's my flat out opinion. Do am I gonna sit here and say, do I know if he raped those women? No, I don't. I wasn't there. I wasn't at those parties. I wasn't in those rooms. I wasn't in those houses. I don't know. But were they taking those drugs and those pills back in those times to party? Yes, they were. So I do personally believe, as much as anyone can say, call me names or whatever. I do believe that some of those women who are partying with Bill wanted those drugs in their drink. Did they want to get raped? No. I'm not
Okay,
saying that.
all right. You got to throw that word around like that, though. Calm
Whatever,
down,
man.
cowboy.
I'm speaking how I fucking feel. Like, if
Yeah,
people
yeah.
don't like
Well,
it, oh well. They
the
can
R
kiss my
word.
ass.
We gonna be careful about that word though.
Yeah, okay, whatever. If they got violated, how about that? Do
We
I
don't know.
believe that?
You're right.
Right. I don't know, but I do believe that some of those women wanted that shit in their drink.
Mm. And you know what? I want to talk about this other thing. I know this ain't nobody talking about. The problem where it's conflict that we talk about staying on code and all that great stuff, but this is the thing. What about all them years Bill Cosby was shitting on all the young black brothers instead of pulling them to the side and talking to them first? All the years he shitted on the rap hip hop community, what have you, the Wayans brothers and all types of shit. And now look who's standing up for him. The rap community. You seen Lil Boosie was happy. You seen I forget, was it Snoop? Somebody else said like it's a bunch of brothers that's in the rap community that's been taken up for him, and you was shitting on us. And what's so sad is like, bro, you come from the projects of Philadelphia, bro, born and raised on the playground where you spent most of your days playing around with Spanish Fly, from where he alleged himself on Larry King's show. So if you mean to tell me that you know you come from that environment, you got down, pull brothers to the side and talk to them, because I find it funny and ironic that now that's the only people that's really standing up for you like that. You know what I'm saying? You had Jill Scott that still stood up for him and other sisters. And my thing is, where's the apology for the young brothers, man, in the hip hop community, where in the rap community? Where's our apology at, Bill? You need to send out a message saying, hey, man, I want to thank the rap community and young brothers for
Hmm.
standing up for me while I was on lockdown, hitting them weights on the prison yard twice a day. Y'all
Hmm.
brothers was holding me down. What a love. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no
Or
love.
just for black people, period. Because he was always saying like some pretty shitty things about the young generation. Yet, like you said, the young generation is who's standing up for him. So he
That's what
needs
I
to
want
be
to talk
saying
about.
something.
Where we stood, like we got the ridicule the most, because every time something bad happened, then it's because of the rap community. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
Right.
blamed on all of us. But it's like, well, shitty as we are, we understand because we come from the same place. All these other motherfuckers might try to hide something, but the difference is they getting away with it. And your black ass, 80 some years old, did 2.5, 3 years in behind bars at 80 years old. So where's the love at? You feel what I'm saying? But
Right.
we ain't gonna spend. I don't want to spend too much time on that shit. I just wanted to bring it up real quick. I got something I want to bring up to me that's a lot more important than that, because I feel like, well, I mean, it's still kind of in the same vein, but at the same time, it's a difference. Somebody proclaiming that they something that they not, versus when you have somebody that is actually, you know, trying to be on some real shit and make a change, made some mistakes, but they didn't hide that. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna talk about Larry Hoover. And this article is from the Chicago Sun-Times.com. If Gangster Disciples co-founder wins freedom from federal term, Illinois prisons don't want him. All right. So it said Larry Hoover, co-founder of the Gangster Disciples street gang, won't be allowed to serve his state murder sentence in the Illinois Department of Corrections prison system if he succeeds at being free from federal prison, Illinois officials say. Hoover is asking a federal judge in Chicago to recalculate his 98 federal life sentence for running a criminal enterprise. Prosecutors have said that under his control, the gang, Chicago's largest, sold more than $100 million in drugs, including crack cocaine. The Federal First Step Act, enacted in 2018, allows prisoners to seek lower sentences based on reductions in the federal penalties for selling crack cocaine. Before U.S. District Judge Harry Lennon Weber, I'm gonna mess it up. Lennon Weber rules on Hoover's request. He has said he wants to know from prosecutors and Hoover's lawyers whether the state prison system would be able to keep him from engaging in gang activity. That's because Hoover was sentenced separately in state court to 100 to 150 years for a gang murder in 1973 in Chicago. In a court filing Friday, federal prosecutors warned Lineweber not to free Hoover, saying that would undermine respect for the law in Chicago. And they also answered the judge's questions about whether the Illinois Department of Corrections could handle Hoover, offering a letter from Eugene Jackson, Chief of Investigations and Intelligence for the state prison system. Larry Hoover presents a unique security challenge due to his notoriety within. The Gangster Disciples, Jackson wrote, out of an abundance of caution and for the purpose of ensuring Mr. Hoover's personal safety, he will be housed outside of Illinois. In fact, the Federal Bureau of Prisons have already agreed to house Mr. Hoover for the remainder of his sentence if necessary. It's not unprecedented for the state prison system to send inmates to other states' prisons or to move them to the federal prison system for security reasons. In 2019, former Bolingbrook Police Sergeant Drew Peterson was sent to the federal prison in Terre Haute, Indiana, for a prison in southern Illinois for security purposes. Peterson was convicted of murder in the death of his third wife, Kathleen Savio, and also is a suspect in the disappearance of Stacy Peterson, his fourth wife. Damn, dude was getting down. It's unclear where Peterson is being held now. He's not listed on the Illinois Department of Correction sites. In the court filing Friday, federal prosecutors told Lineweber that Hoover is expected to ask the Illinois Prisoner Review Board to parole him if Lineweber frees him from his federal life sentence. All right, so at H, we know about some things about Larry Hoover. So I want to get your opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that the brother been locked down for all these years, they try to give him 150 years for something that they they say that he had something to do. This was in '79 with a murder from gang incidents. So how do you feel about the fact that he's been in prison all these years, and instead of them recalculating and trying to give him some time, like why do you think somebody like Larry Hoover, if he got all this power and he could have been had things done to get him free, whatever, whatever. Why do you think they want to keep? I got my own opinion, but why do you think they want to keep Larry Hoover off the streets or away from Chicago as far as possible? Like, what's your opinion on his case in this situation?
Maybe they feel, I don't know, this may sound crazy at left field, but maybe they feel scared that all these years later he's still gonna have power to make some kind of uprise. That's the
Mm.
only thing that I can think of. It's not the same thing, but we have so many black men. I'm gonna just speak on just black men, period, who have been quote unquote charged or convicted of something that they didn't do, or like we're speaking with Bill, the evidence don't match up, and they stay in prison for years and years and years and years and years. Excuse me, for no reason. And the only thing, just listening to everything that you said and the information that I know about Larry Hoover myself, is just that maybe it's the fear. Maybe it just is truly genuine fear that if he was to be released, there'd be some type of uprising, that the power is still there. And also, that these white people behind the court system, they always have a problem with saying they're sorry or that they were wrong. Even when they let certain black men out of jail who've been locked up for 40 years, some of these men get out of jail and they give them $50,000 and say, "Go on your way." What the hell is $50,000 gonna do for somebody that's been locked up for 30 years and they were locked up wrongfully? So I just think that it boils down to that they have fear and that they also never want to be admitting that they were wrong. That's straight up.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I feel the same way. I feel like they don't want the brother out because they scared that he gonna call power and blase squaze, and it's like, listen, if you want people to clean up the streets, you got to let the people who fucked up the streets be the one to clean up the streets. Plain and simple. So that's also like I remember old Phil Donahue show or episode where Farrakhan was first on there, and he was asking all these dumbass questions about the Muslims and them being violent and wanting all these issues when they start something against white people. He said, "I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Really, it's your own guilt. You're afraid that black people will do to y'all what y'all have done to us all these years." And I think that's what it is exactly. It's like y'all worried about strong minds like that, knowing that if y'all keep the streets separated and be cool with it, like that's the disconnect problem I have with us. All right, for all the street dudes out here killing each other, the business people staying away from each other, the educated black people staying away from each other, not realizing when you come together and make one strong fist, we a problem. So that's why they want somebody like him that got all that respect and that mindset. They don't allow him to just talk to anybody. If he was still that powerful from behind jail, you don't think that something would have bad to happen if he was meant for it to be bad to happen after 40 years or more than 40 years of being locked down? It would have been happened. But you worried that he gonna come through, clean the community up, and y'all can't go ahead and culture vulture, you know what I'm saying, our communities no more. That's why they're afraid of people like him. That's why they won't let Matulu Shakur out. He's still locked down. Mumia, he's still locked down. Like you got brothers that they are still scared of that they don't want out because they know the strength and the power of their mind that even though they've been locked down for 40 plus years, these brothers still are able to reach the people, and they're afraid of that because you got to think Larry Hoover, God bless him, comes from that time of the Black Panthers and Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? Like those are his times, and MLK and Stokely Carmichael and Eldridge Cleaver, all these people, that's his generation. You know what I'm saying? So of course they're gonna be afraid to let a brother like this out on the street or the other brothers, you know what I'm saying, that's on lockdown. They don't want them out there. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're afraid about. But I seen this the other day and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I want people listening, like, yo, whether you listening now or you listen on the through the replay, I want y'all to go and do your history on Larry Hoover and the things that he did in the community because they talking about a murder, but you got to realize something. Crazy as Chicago is now, Chicago was still more organized back then. It wasn't so bad where you can't be in no part of the community and there wasn't gangs that had, you know, organization skills, like organized stuff. Like over here, we don't do such and such. I hear stories all the time, like, you know, when I watch Corey Holcomb and other OGs from Chicago talk about it all the time, when Miss such and such came out the house, whatever you doing, stop. You ain't selling no drugs. You ain't finna fight. You ain't shoot none of that. When the kids outside, you stop that shit. Or matter of fact, we go over here and meet. This is what we gonna go over here. This is what we do. What we do. You know what I'm saying? So they took that away from Chicago. So explain to me how, when it was organized, instead of the police and the city officials coming together and be like, how can we keep it like this? And then bring it down to where it's hardly no violence or drugs or anything around here. Instead, they take away the leaders and then knocked down a lot of projects, and then everybody moved around the city. That's why, from my understanding, what I'm hearing from other OGs from out there is that's why things got crazy throughout the whole city like it is now, is because they knocked down the projects, they took out the gang leaders, whether they killed them or threw them in prison, or they get, you know what I'm saying, then knocking down projects, and then it's all over the city. So there's no real OGs out there like that no more. So this is the problem I have, and not to blame it on, I love my sisters, but this is why we need more of our sisters to do their research and really talk to brothers that know a little something to give them to understand it. This is the biggest reason why there's not a lot of black leaders out there like it used to be. They think it's so simple. Y'all get a leg up because they got y'all fighting against us instead of fighting with us. White women tricking y'all, but when y'all go to fight, they females that move you out the way. They don't want the sisters to fight down. They want to fight that, but this white women can come and help you fight your man. That's where we got to start making some changes at and realizing better. So I just wanted to talk about it. Like I said, hopefully y'all look the brother Larry Hoover up. That's, to me, is one of the most important parts of this live stream that we doing right now. So we appreciate who's ever here with us watching. And whenever you watch it through the restream, like I said, look up Larry Hoover, man, and see what's really good or what comes from my community. So before we get out here, H, you got anything you want to lead the people with?
No, just what you said. Look up Larry Hoover and also look up wherever you may live at. Look up, any black men or black women from, times before you, whether it be the 50s, 60s, 70s, the 80s, people that did good in the community, people that did things that, was to uplift us, because that's what, you know, the basis of everything is the people that came before us that was trying to make a better way for us today, going against what white people want you to think that we're all thugs and gangsters and that type of thing. So definitely look up Larry Hoover and look up the people that maybe in your city or your state that also came before us that did good things.
Real talk. All right, y'all. So we're gonna break up out of here. You know what I mean? We always got content coming for y'all. Make sure y'all always look. Mondays and Thursdays, we're gonna be doing a show for y'all, doing a live show each Monday and Thursday, God willing. So y'all always look out for that, man. Look at your feed and look for us. All right, so we're gonna get up out of here. Stop digging in your nose. Peace.